Coming up next on Virginia Outdoor Life, head south with us as we go speckled trout fishing in the Outer Banks. Travel inland as we pursue largemouth bass on the Chickahominy and find out everything you need to know to winterize your boat. All this and more straight ahead on Virginia Outdoor Life.
Hello friends, and welcome once again to Virginia Outdoor Life. My name is Jim Hale along with the Captain Eric Burnley. And Captain, we've been talking about, at least last week, we were talking a lot about speckled trout fishing. Yep. And I know you ran into some recently.
Yep. Went down to the Outer Banks and fished out of Rodanthe. Friends of ours have a place down there called Hatteras Jack. And Mike White took us out and we did some speckled trout fishing, and I'd like to show the folks what we did.
Good time of year to be down there, isn't
it?
It's
a beautiful time of year to be down there. The surf fishing's good, the speckled trout fishing's good, and the sound. It's just a good time to be on the Outer Banks.
Well, let's see what you got here.
All righty.
Must be the place. That's a good place to start it.
This morning we're fishing out of Hatteras Jacks, and we are in the Sound here off the Hatteras Island, North Carolina, trying to catch a speckled trout. We've caught a couple before got light enough to do any filming, but they were too small to keep, so we've returned them. This morning I'm with Mike White, Captain Mike White. We're on board his boat. And we're just drifting along here, throwing finesse lures. We've thrown 3 different colors. All 3 have caught small fish. We're trying to figure out what kind of color will catch a big fish. What are you using, Mike? The chartreuse?
Well, it's I call it chartreuse, Eric. Actually, it's fire perch.
Fire perch. And I'm using a black and silver with silver metal flake in it. And like I said, they've both caught fish this morning. You've always got to be willing to experiment, to change, to do something different if something's not working. There are some occasions where you have a proven method and all you need to do is you're just waiting for the fish to make an appearance. When you're out here and you're after speckled trout and you know you're in the right water and you know there's fish out here, you're just trying now to find out what it is they're looking for today. I don't know how nice it is, but it's a trout. All right.
Hooray for the jackhammer.
Hooray for the jackhammer. Hatteras jackhammer strikes fear and loathing into the speckled trout population. All right, there we go. Yeah. Guess what I'm going to start throwing again. Catch this little baby trout.
Yes, sir, baby trout.
He ate the whole thing.
Yes, sir. Didn't even need the net for him, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can box him.
A lot of people don't understand with fish is that sound is much more important to them than sight. They can hear far further than they can hear a fish or a bait a lot further away than they can see it. They don't see it until they get right up to it. So something that goes through the water that has a sound to it or a vibration, that's what's usually important when you're trying to attract a fish.
See, that's what I like about this show. I always learn. I didn't know that. For real, huh?
Yeah, sound. Yes, that's what they're attracted to sound first. They have a lateral line where they hear low frequency sounds, and then they have an inner ear where they hear high frequency sounds, and that's what attracts them to a bait before they can ever see it.
So how you work that lure.
And the vibration, we say a lure looks good in the water. To a fish, it sounds good.
Wow.
He'll see it. He'll hear that vibration, whether it's a slow swimming or a fast swimming lure, or one that twitches like we did with the finesses. It's the sound it makes going through the water that first attracts the fish. Same with offshore fishing. That's why some boats raise marlin and some boats don't. The vibration of the boat brings the fish in.
Well, how long do you think the specks are going to be hidden?
In the sound, they're probably starting to wind down, but then they'll move out and be in the surf, and you would use the same finesse, the same whiffles, and the same types of plugs in the surf that you used in the sound to catch them.
Looked like fun. Great story, Captain.
Thank you.
Good
it was a good
there.
time. Mike White's a nice guy. He runs a good operation.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Time to take a look now at the outdoor news. The National Marine Fisheries Service is thinking about opening federal waters to striped bass fishing. Fishermen here in Virginia are enjoying the longest striped bass season in years, and the excitement has been amazing as you just talk to folks around here. Not so long ago, of course, the species was nearly wiped out, but because of laws limiting the striped bass catch, the fish has made quite a comeback. The question is, has it made enough of a comeback to open these waters to this type of fishing on the federal waters? There was a public hearing recently to debate the issue, and you were there, Captain.
Yes, I was, and the answer is no. It's a bad idea to open the federal waters to striped bass fishing. Without going into a lot of detail, it would open up loopholes that would allow unlimited catches of striped bass that would in effect be illegal, but no way to enforce them. So it's just a bad idea. They need to keep those federal waters closed.
But you know, it's amazing when you just talk to people how excited they are around here to have the rock fishing back.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's the biggest thing that goes on around here now, but mainly because a lot of the other species are in such bad shape. For instance, weak fish is way down, or gray trout they call them here. And so the striped bass is the focus of the saltwater angler in this part of the world.
And we're going to transition. We're going to talk about some largemouth bass, folks. So stick around because we're going to go freshwater fishing right after this. Looking for some bass in the Chickahominy. Stay tuned. Up here at the side of the street. Welcome back to Virginia Outdoor Life here on Veterans Day. My name is Jim Hale. Now, obviously, a great area here for saltwater fishing, and with the ocean and bay right here, it's easy to forget that there is plenty of freshwater fishing to be done as well. You'll find lots of lakes and rivers around here to do some great bass fishing. Recently, I went out on the Chickahominy with my buddy Larry Lusk and cast a line near Williamsburg.
This is an excellent time to be fishing, Jim, here on the Chickahominy River. Fall, the trees are already changing, and we've had some cool nights in the last 2 or 3 weeks. The fall in water temperatures this time of the year kind of triggers a feeding spell for bass. They know the winter time is coming on. This is a Rebel Pop R. This is the Zell Roland signature model. And it has a lot of spitting and sputtering action, which kind of emulates a injured minnow or a shad up on the top. Also produces a lot of a gurgling sound, which sends off a lot of sound vibrations, which will attract the bass.
Let's go fishing.
Okay, let's do it. Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned it to you all earlier this morning, but my throat's been real scratchy, and I went to the doctor, and what he said was, what you really need is to help that sore throat out is a day out bass fishing on the Chickahominy. Yeah. What you want to do is work the lure with the rod tip only, and of course just reel it in when you want to take out that slack line. But the action of the lure is all done with the rod tip.
Okay.
You see what I mean? You want to try not to. It's hard to do, but you want to try not to work the lure and the reel at the same time.
Okay.
You don't want to be working the rod tip and reeling in your line at the same time. You want to do either one or the other, and that is, and you think about working the rod tip first. And then as soon as you get through with the rod tip, then you can reel out your slack.
Okay.
Again, you're popping it with the rod tip, then reel out your slack, and we'll just kind of vary the retrieve a little bit. The unique thing about this sport, it requires both your mechanical skills. As you can see, you're progressing rapidly here already, but you have to have all the mechanical skills, know where to cast the lure and which line diameters work the best with certain size and weight lures.
This is where you enjoy spending the most time out here doing this right here.
Oh yeah, this is it. I mean, I can tell you, if I'm not with my family, number one, and I'm not making sales calls, this is where I like to spend all my extra time.
What is it about this that you enjoy so much?
Well, I think the reason I enjoy it so much is because it's such a challenge. You know, you have the bass in brackish water, you have them in these tidal rivers, you have them around lily pads, around duck blinds, around cypress trees, and then your big man-made impoundments. If I have a successful day, then obviously you've learned, but if you don't catch any fish at all, then you try to jot down some mental notes and make sure under those kind of circumstances the next go around that you do something different. Don't do the same thing.
Well, Captain, I got a lot of mental notes, as Larry was saying. Yes, we did. Didn't have a whole lot of action up there, but Larry was nice enough. I tell you, he's a great guy. Sent photographer Mike Bibbo and I a couple of Bass Cats hats. These things are nice and sporty. And I tell you what, he said he promised us he was going to take us down to Perquimans and the Pasquotank down North Carolina and promised us some action down there. And we're going to hold you to it, Larry.
Sounds good.
Yes,
sounds
indeed.
good.
All right, folks, time to take a look at the great pictures you viewers have sent in to us. We put them in our outdoor scrapbook, then open it up each week for you to take a look.
The first picture comes to us from our buddies from the Marshall Hunt Club, Willard Gordon and Bobby Lester. Willard's got himself a 10-point buck and Lester a 4-pointer, taken last year in Ivor, Virginia.
Next up is Carlton Matthews from Suffolk, showing off a striped bass. After 40 years of fishing in fresh water, Carlton recently switched to saltwater, and it looks like he's really enjoying the change.
We turn the page to find more striped bass. 13-year-old Stephen Holland showing off the first 2 rockfish he has ever caught. He brought them in at the Monitor Merrimack Bridge Tunnel.
Next up is Jeff and Diana Sims, showing off some spadefish they caught a couple of years ago.
And finally, Sandra Schmack from Suffolk looks tickled pink to be showing off this 6-pound puppy drum. She caught it at Cape Point on Hatteras Island using live finger mullet.
Welcome back, friends, to Virginia Outdoor Life. Jim Hale along with Captain Eric Burnley here. And Captain, winter's coming on here, but you don't just pull your boat up to the dock and tie it up when the winter comes.
Not a good idea. No, you've got to take care of it. You've got to protect it from the freeze, and you've also got to protect it from corrosion while you're not using it. And that's what's important, to get that done and make sure it's done properly and done by somebody that knows what they're doing.
And you went out and showed us how to do that.
Yeah.
Let's just go ahead and take a look.
Pretty down here today.
Yeah, it's going to be nice out there fishing.
Yeah, it was nice and warm, man. A little bit chilly,
We're at Willoughby Bay Marina with Mike Payton, mechanic here, and he's going to be showing us how to winterize your boat. We're going to start off winterizing an IO type of boat. This one happens to be a Volvo Penta, but of course there's also Merc Cruiser and others on the market. Mike, you want to show us how to kind of get started on that?
Basically, what you're going to do is hook a freshwater flushing attachment onto your stern drive, or freshwater flush your engine first.
Right.
Let it come up to temperature. After it comes up to temperature, then you can take the top off the carburation here. You're going to take the other breather top off, which is here, the air cleaner. Sometimes the air cleaner gets a little bit dirty. You want to clean this at that period of time.
Right.
After your engine is freshwater flushed, the engine is still running on a freshwater flushing attachment. We're going to unscrew the top to this right here. We're going to take a can of storage fogging lube, which is just a light type of oil lubricant. We're going to spray it all into the carburation as the engine is running. After everything is into the carburation, all the storage fogging oil, the engine will quit itself. You're going to have a whole lot of smoke and everything, of course.
Right.
After it quits, of course, cut off the water, cut the engine off. You're all set to drain and refill the block with potable type antifreeze, which is like freeze band or something like that, something that's biodegradable.
If you just drain everything, that'll protect it from freezing. In all probability, it won't freeze up on you. But it's going to be sitting 3-4 months, and it's going to want to corrode. So by putting a rust inhibitor antifreeze in there, this particular product here, that's going to prevent the corrosion from occurring. So that whole time that your engine's sitting there not doing anything, your manifolds and your block is not going to be rusting out, which of course is the main reason that the inboards and IOs fail when they're especially running salt water. Gasoline stabilizer, you put that in your gas tank, and that keeps your gas from breaking down and becoming, it develops like a lacquer on it. Now, at the very last thing you do is then wax the boat. You want to wax the boat and get a good coat of wax on there, because that protects it over the winter from getting all the dirt, and if you store it outside, the leaves and the sand and the grit and all won't work down into your finish if you put it away with a good coat of wax on it. Okay, now we're going to go back and take a look at the outdrive, the lower unit, and see what you need to do to that for the winter.
Okay. To ensure that the prop does not stick over the winter time, we're going to take the prop off and grease the prop shaft. When you pull it off, there's going to be a thrust washer here. You want to make sure there's plenty of grease on the prop shaft so it doesn't stick on the splines. Behind the spacer washer, you want to pull your spacer washer off. A lot of times you'll get a lot of fishing line or something behind here and they'll eat the prop shaft seals, of course. And you should be all set next season. All you have to do is start up, let everything clear up, and tune your engine and go.
All right, Captain, that was great. What about the outboard
Okay,
situation?
yeah, the outboards are a little easier to deal with. Really all you need to do with them is hit them with the fogger, something similar to the fogging oil like this, and coat them real good, get them all cleaned up, and they're ready to go because they don't have an enclosed cooling system like the inboards and the IOs, and they don't have manifolds.
We sure do have some nasty winters around here.
Yes.
Got to take care of them. Folks, earlier in the show, we showed you some of your pictures that you sent in. Here's a look now at a home video sent in by one of our viewers. And Captain, you know these folks.
That's right. This is Kitty Falk, and she's landing a bluefish, and she's being helped by her granddaughter, Jamie Stanford. And we were trolling over on the fourth island of the bridge tunnel. Now this is the really good part of this thing. And watch when Jamie brings this particular catch in, or I'm going to grab the leader and pull it in for it. This is something you don't see every day. 2 fish on one plug.
How about
Two
that?
fish on one plug. I'm telling you, she was so excited. It's so great to take young people out and have them have a good time fishing. This girl likes to fish. I'm telling you, she is a fishing person.
That's great.
And that, of course, is a Jimmy Cobb video, and he was kind enough to send it to us. And if you have one, send it to us at Virginia Outdoor Life, care of WTKR News Channel 3, P.O. Box 300, Norfolk, Virginia, 23501 0300.
Yeah, and then maybe that young lady will be in the paper like Heather Martinez.
Yeah, that was great. Hutch did it. I got to thank Hutch for putting Heather in there as Angler of the Week. That was super. And she is a good angler. And we're just seeing more and more people, young people, getting into the sport, and that's so good, especially the young ladies.
Yeah, folks, keep sending those videos in and stick around because we've got a lot more Virginia Outdoor Life coming up, including our hot product segment and the Captain's Fishing Forecast. We're going to take a little break right here. Hey folks, Jim Hale with Captain Eric Burnley here, Virginia Outdoor Life. Welcome back to the show. Time for our hot product segment. We told you how to winterize the boat earlier, or at least the captain did anyway.
Right, and Mike, don't forget Mike Payton.
Guess what our hot product or products are this week?
Right, from Starbright we have some fogging oil, we have easy to store, easy to start gasoline stabilizer, crankcase oil stabilizer. We have some wax here. We also have some other things over in the box that they sent us, nice folks from Starbright sent us, and that'll be your hot products for this week. One quick thing, when you have any questions about winterizing your boat, please contact the people that sold you the boat or that serviced that boat and get the right information from them. And also you can get a winterizing guide by dialing 800-327-8583, and they'll send you a free winterizing guide.
Okay, this is a pretty nifty box we got here. Great prize. And we're going to reach in here right now and pick somebody's name out. Okay, and I got a gentleman right here. And it looks like it's going to be Carlton Gill of Poquoson, Virginia. And, well, Carlton says he's a fisherman.
So I hope he has a boat. Probably with the way the wind's going to blow, if you have an aquarium, that would be a good place to start. Right. Dr. Dwayne just will not give us a break on this weather. If we get good weather, there has been some really good bass fishing striped bass fishing at the bridge tunnels all the way around. Speckled trout should still be in Rudy and Lynn Haven, and surf fishing should be real good on the Outer Banks, and that's about it.
Well, I think I'm going to go out there and give it a try anyway. We got a couple deer hunts coming up here pretty soon. That's right. We got the buck fever going. I'll see you next week,
See you next
Captain.
week, James.
All right. Enjoyed it, folks, and we'll see you in the great outdoors.